Dog barking can cause hearing damage, but it can also damage another part of the body. First, let's look at the hearing damage a little bit. So, a dog can bark as loud as 80 to 100 decibels or more. Here's just a little bit of information about different noises. So, hearing damage can be caused by dog barking. Not just humans, but other dogs. It's important to understand that dogs are getting hearing damage too, because that also goes hand in hand with neurologic damage, which means the dogs cannot hear themselves. They don't really understand the ridiculous noise that they're making. Animals in nature have a feedback loop, and they can hear themselves. These barking nuisance dogs, they can't hear themselves. They're mentally damaged, like medically, mentally, neurologically damaged in their ears and nervous system from the loud noises that they create and the loud noises that the other dogs that are in the household with these dogs create. So it's pretty much irrefutable that dog barking has no place in human settlements. Therefore, if anybody owns a dog, they should have the strongest, most powerful bark collar on that dog. The dog should be very extremely disciplined. I'm not talking positive reinforcement either. Or you just shouldn't have the dog. Or debark surgery should be mandatory because this is a huge mental health issue. So you might notice in some of my other videos, I talk a lot about the prefrontal cortex and how many habits from dog culture, um, we basically just don't use our prefrontal cortex. And these brain waves that are mentioned in this article I'm going to share with you guys, it talks about how your beta waves are related to creativity, problem solving, and they're highly related to your prefrontal cortex and your frontal cortex too. But that is something dogs don't have, and that is something humans do not use in the habits that they adopt in this dog worshiping world. So here is a study. It's called The Effect of Noise Exposure on Cognitive Performance and Brain Activity Patterns. There's many of these studies available. There's a lot of older ones and newer ones. And spoiler alert, it's not good. So let me show you something in this study called attention. So we have a whole bunch of results about this. When your brain has to give attention to a background noise in these decibel ranges that were tested, and many other ones, of course, it screws with your brain because your brain has to sit there and give attention to that noise, and the rest of your brain, it doesn't get what it needs. It doesn't get the blood flow, the oxygen. It doesn't get to expel CO2. The mitochondria in your cells don't get the nutrition and other things that they need. They don't get the hormones and the signaling because so much of your brain is just attending to this background noise. The study explains it very well. This noise exposure, it influences the central nervous system, like I was mentioning earlier, leading to emotional stress, anxiety, cognitive, and memory defects. Okay? Like depression, neurodegenerative disorders, and many other things. Cognitive impairment and oxidative stress in the brain. So this exposure is very bad for your brain. It's not just like, well, you might get hearing loss if you listen to a dog barking for like 3 hours. No, this is a serious problem. Notice here, the amygdala. I've mentioned the amygdala before. Dog owners are in like an amygdala hijack. That is basically when you're just reacting, and you're on cortisol. So speaking of beta waves in the brain, so have you ever took a shower or a hot bath and noticed that all of a sudden you have like better flow? You all of a sudden you got a new idea, or you're thinking about like creatively, or you suddenly came up with a solution to a problem. Well, that's because when you take a shower, it boosts your beta waves temporarily. It kind of like makes you smart. It gives you access to parts of your brain that you haven't been using. And part of it is because it allows your brain to not pay attention to other stuff. Like when you're in the shower and the water's flowing over you, that kind of takes away all the background noise of everything else that's going on in your house or wherever else, and it boosts your beta waves temporarily. And you get to pay attention to all this other stuff that your brain has just been thrown to the side, all the background noise of your job, of listening to dogs bark, of looking at the phone. So if you think about the way a dog owner acts when you talk to them about barking, they're not in this beta wave kind of thing. They are in this like, no, you just need to put in your earplugs. You just need to get a fan. Dogs bark. It's just what they do. They're in this like, just, you need to just be quiet about dog barking, because in the brain of a dog owner, the problem isn't the dog barking. The problem is that you brought it up. And their brain has basically taken that dog barking and compartmentalized it as a solution for it. And so when you tell them to, hey, you need to do something about this dog barking, you've made them pull that problem out of the compartment. And so you are the one that gets to blame. And if you think about the way these beta waves work, like look up some of this stuff about how when you take a shower and stuff, it lets you be creative. So a creative person would hear that a dog is barking and they would think up 5 different ways to, okay, a shock collar, okay, an ultrasonic device, okay, maybe I don't need a dog. But you see, dog owners, they don't have that, and that's bad for their brain, because so much of their brain is just compartmentalizing that bark, 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 bark. And here you come as a creative person that values your peace and quiet, and you're forcing them to unpack that. You're forcing them to try to be creative. So take some time to read up about these different brain waves. Beta waves are associated with speaking and thinking. So when something is barking, it's not speaking, it's not thinking. It's just reacting. It's just solving a problem quickly by reacting. That's what a dog owner does when you ask them to do something about barking. Boom, they freak out. They tell you you need to adjust your life. The same thing when a dog sees a leaf fall or a car drives by. They're just reacting. To them, the problem has appeared and they need to bark. They're not using any type of cognition or anything like that. And the main takeaway of these brain waves is this noise from dog barking, it throws these all out of balance. And the long term effects of it are terrible. Very, very terrible for your health. So there it is, a look at barking from a scientific and health point of view. Noise from barking can be a sensory stimulus that increases arousal, which is believed to cause a reduction in the breadth of attention. So that's where these dog owners are, and that's where these dog owners are putting everyone else in society. It's a serious health risk. It's a serious central nervous system problem. And if you start looking up the nervous system problems that are mentioned in here and the cognitive problems, they are all on the rise. And all of the drugs that we use to try to fix these problems, everything from like L-theanine off the shelf, ashwagandha off the shelf, to pharmaceuticals and SSRIs, all of the stuff we use to try to fix these problems is used more and more and more. So if you are a dog owner and you're sitting there like, you need to get a fan, you need to get earplugs. No, you, as a dog owner, you need to shut your fan off. You need to take your damn earplugs out and you need to wake up, because this crap right here is also affecting your dog. So any dog owner that refuses to allow someone else to make a point about dog barking, you are a dog abuser. If you're not going to pay attention to your barking dog, then you're a dog abuser, and basically you need to just go shut up and read a book and drop your narcissism and drop your selfishness and help society solve a problem. Because dog owners, at the end of the day, they are the problem. So hope you guys like to have a look at this study. See you guys in the next one.